Trees Fiber podcast. I'm Devynn.
I'm Lauren.
And I can be found on Instagram as Devynn_no_loose_ends.
And I'm Lauren Upstitching.
Thanks for joining us.
We're on episode 12.
Yes.
We're in the end of January, so we're into 2021 officially.
Yes.
Now.
Making some progress.
Making some progress on some projects. It has been, if we were in our other place, you could see behind us, other place where the lighting just, oh my gosh, when I was editing the last podcast, I was so furious with the lighting.
Oh, the lighting was difficult, but the snowy landscape is what you guys got to enjoy, right?
Right, exactly. And it is now, over there, we can see it just pouring down snow.
It is blustery outside.
It is blustery outside. This is a winter to remember.
20 degrees this morning.
Yeah, and that's been a high lately.
Yeah, we were at like 12 degrees the other day.
Yeah, the lake was like, I work in our visitor center, and people were calling like, can we do ice fishing? Can we do ice fishing? We're like, no, the lake isn't even frozen, no. And then like in a week, the lake was frozen solid, thick enough to do ice fishing.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Bam, so now you go and you can see little cabins out on the lake. It's really neat.
Yeah, I saw 4 different groups of ice fishermen today.
I would not be surprised if, since it's the weekend, we also have a pretty awesome ski resort near us, and they so we get people in every weekend to ski and enjoy the snowy mountains, and they do the windsurfing on the lake where they put the sail and they just ski across the lake.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so neat to see. So hopefully they're probably out there right now having
There
fun.
is probably somebody doing that. Let me tell you, the lake is packed this weekend. I went out Friday to go to the grocery store, and we couldn't get a spot in the parking lot. It was bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people can, it's outdoor activities. You can socially distance. Yeah. You can get a house instead of like having to cram into a hotel somewhere. You can rent a house.
Yep.
And, people love it. Love coming up here. So.
It's a beautiful area. And we're in Western Maryland.
Oh, yeah. We're in Western Maryland, Gare County. Yeah. And Deep Creek Lake area. So if anybody's been to or are like planning a visit, give us a shout because it's pretty awesome.
It's a nice area to be in. And right now with this snow is just clinging to the trees perfectly. It's so gorgeous.
It's winter wonderland up here.
Check out my Instagram. I took a picture today and posted it.
Ooh,
of me in the winter landscape with my winter gear on.
I gotta be better about this shit. I'm so terrible. I don't know why. I have all these plans to be better. I'm just terrible.
Every day is a step, Lauren.
Every day is a step.
That's the way we gotta treat
I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna figure out how to take photos, and I'm gonna take some nice photos and post to Instagram.
Yeah, I took just a few quick little, I guess they're selfies. I mean, I was by myself, but Jason took them. Is that still a selfie? I don't know.
No, you have to be doing this for selfie.
No, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Because when I do this, my forehead looks like this big. so I make Jason take it because he helps make my forehead not look so massive. It's bad, but
just shave your head, then your forehead gets really small.
No, I have a widow's peak, so my forehead always looks massive because of my widow's peak. Let me put this back on. I'll talk about what I'm wearing, guys.
Yes, you look so snuggly.
I am very snuggly. First of all, I'm wearing a gray dress from Torrid that is basically sweatpant material.
Yeah, it's super soft.
In a dress with, look at these fancy sleeves. Okay. But this is a knitting podcast. We're not here to talk about Torrid. So I'm wearing, this is the Lovey Dovey Tam. And I wear this. This is one of my favorite winter hats.
So pretty.
I wear this all the freaking time. I finished this last year right before I went to Maine, and I wore it all the time there. And now I wear it every time I get an opportunity at home.
It's super cute.
And then this shawl it's a little Eastery looking, springtime, but I wanted to add some more color.
I think the gold brings it into.
It kind of tones it.
Yeah.
But this is the Exploration Station shawl by Stephen West, and I am not going to take it off because I'll never get it back on in the way that is comfortable right now. So
yeah, it's very pretty.
It is very pretty. I actually don't have any finished product pictures of this, so I need to get that up. Yeah. I'm bad at this. So let's see. I have an update to talk to you guys about my sweater that I've been knitting.
Yes.
And then I have 2 whips, no finishes. What do you have?
I have 2 whips and a finish technically, but it's an older piece that I just happened to find lately, and I thought I'd talk about it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your finish first?
Sure. So this is
really cool.
If you can see it. This is a doily I finished a while ago. It was originally in a hoop for my sister to hang her earrings on. Like I make all these into earring hangers usually.
They're really nice. I have one and I love it.
And she recently just had to take it down. It was, our dad got us earring hangers for Christmas. And while I, with my gigantic collection, was just like, fantastic, another place to hang earrings, she was like, oh, I'll hang my stuff on this. And she'd also put some heavy earrings on this, and it had pulled out of the frame a little bit. But originally, I cannot tell you who this pattern is by. It was probably something free on Pinterest when I was doing it. But originally, you asked me, is this variegated thread? And no, I dyed this.
That is so cool.
Back in the day.
Yeah, put it down so people can see it. Like, look at that.
Yeah. So that is really. And what I did was I folded it into quarters, so you can kind of see there's like a point. And I folded it into quarters, and then I wet it, and then sat it in the dye bowl, and let it wick up. And then when it was as far as I wanted it to go, I took it and rinsed it from top to bottom in cold water very quickly. And I just used Rit dye, followed the instructions on the bottle, and it was just really cool. And so now I have it, now that we took it out of the frame, and I'm going to decide what I want to do with it. I don't know what I want to do with it, but it's so pretty. It's such pretty colors.
It is a really pretty one. I like that one.
Yeah. And it was free and fun and easy. So I recommend do doilies, everybody. They're great.
Everybody do doilies.
They're great.
I want to do a doily. I now have doily thread. Thank you. I really want to do a doily. Need to finish some projects before I take on that. But
it's on your list.
It's on my list. It'll be an adventure sometime. Yeah. So I want to talk about my project that I didn't bring with me. I meant to bring part of it and I forgot it. Sometimes that's the trouble with traveling to do a podcast. Yeah. So I have been knitting the Spark cardigan, and if you follow me on Instagram or are a friend in real life, you know the saga. So I knit my sleeves, started the body, and I whipped through that body in like the month of,
I remember
in a month. It was 4 weeks of knitting. Yeah. 2 podcast episodes is how I measure time now.
Yeah, me too.
So I literally made it to the neck hole of my cardigan, and then I realized, oh, let me try this on. And I tried it on and I realized, oh no. It was a sad moment. I realized it didn't fit. So the fit issues were, my gauge had changed when I went from knitting the sleeves. I had gauge. Knitting the body, my gauge changed by 4 stitches per inch, which is a massive adjustment in this pattern. And so around, it wasn't going to make too much of a difference. Like, it would have been just a little bit baggier, but not terrible. However, this way, it made a lot of difference, especially right here in the shoulder area. So when I tried it on, when you attach the sleeves to the sweater, you actually add some more length to the sleeves that you knit in ahead of time. And when I did that, that extra length was all wrong. It was the wrong gauge, wrong size. So my sleeve ended up being 4 inches too long for my arm. And the body was 4 inches bigger than I expected it to be. 4 inches on the body I could have dealt with. But the sleeves were massive, guys. Yeah. The sleeves were so bad.
Yeah, 4 inches is like over your hand and hanging off that much.
Oh, like, I mean, huge. If you know the pattern, like where the pattern has these little like peaks in the design at the cuff, I would have had to roll the whole sleeve back past that.
Yeah.
To where it goes on the 1x1 stripey sort of pattern. I would have had to roll the sleeves all the way back to that to get them here. So it was like 4 inches of knitting that I would have had to maybe figure out how to chop off or something. I don't know. I ended up frogging the whole sweater. I kept the sleeves because, like I said, from cuff to here, I had gauge on the sleeves. I have them, but I frogged the whole sweater.
That is pretty devastating.
I was absolutely devastated. I'm okay now, but I cried. And when I say I cried for 3 days. It wasn't pretty. I was really disappointed. I felt like I lost all my confidence as a knitter because this was such a massive mistake, and I was really kicking myself in the butt for not seeing it ahead of time. However, I feel much better now. I know I'm not a failure as a knitter. I was feeling like it 3 days ago, but now I'm good. But just so you know, it's okay to cry over a project.
Yes, it is okay to cry over a project. Now, thinking back on it, why do you think your gauge changed so much from sleeve to body?
That is something that I have since learned is something that can happen. Because when you're knitting the sleeves, you're at a smaller circumference on the circular needles, and you do tend to knit tighter that way. And so I was probably just knitting my normal tightness on the sleeves, but then when I move to the body, I have like a 42 or a 50-inch cable that I'm knitting on, which is a massive thing. And so my gauge loosened up on that bigger circumference. It is something that can happen. It is something that I should have been aware of. I know better now. Something I can watch out for in future projects. Yep. And I don't know.
Well, it's good to like look back and learn something from this, and maybe we can pass on something to you guys. It's something. Yeah. If you're ever working on a project, you can say, "Oh wait, that's right. I should check this."
Double check your gauge throughout the project is something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. I don't feel like a beginner knitter anymore. I've been knitting for technically 10 years, but I feel like I've been really good at knitting for the last 2. But I am a beginner in garment knitting, yes. And that is a whole different beast. Even from a hat, it is very different from a hat. Especially like this sweater is bottom up. My first sweater that I knit was top down. Top down, you can see you're going wrong before you get too far and have to frog the whole thing. Right. I feel like.
Yeah, bottom up is much harder to see those mistakes happening in real time.
So with the bottom up sweater, I did try it on a couple times throughout the process, and it felt like it was fitting around here. Mm-hmm. The worry area is the boobs and the shoulders and the width of my arms and everything like that. So you don't get to that until you're practically done knitting the sweater. So anyway, what am I doing from here? Will I redo the sweater? Yes.
Eventually.
When is the question? I'm not going right back into it. I felt so low last week over this. I'm trying to find my wins. Aww. So I am working on a couple of projects that have restored my faith in my abilities. That are bringing me some happiness and joy, which is what this is all about.
Exactly.
I'm working on some tension techniques to maybe help my gauge with the sweater a little bit. I might even do some more practice swatching just to gain some more confidence with doing that sweater in the future. Yeah. So that's my sweater saga. It will happen again.
It will.
But for now,
it will.
I just don't want to look at it.
It needs time in the timeout corner.
It does.
For emotions to settle.
Yes.
Maybe a year.
Well, it's only been, from the time I had to frog it, it has only been like 5 or 6 days. Yeah. It hasn't been that long.
No. That thing needs to sit in the corner for a month or 2 at minimum.
Yeah, I want to finish one of my projects that I have started, and I know last episode I also talked about bringing up one of my old whips and working on it. I didn't do that. because the sweater destroyed my faith in my abilities. I was like, I don't even want to try that because that one does have a little more complication to it. That's the Love Note sweater that I am sort of modifying, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just winging it, and I'm worried that my winging it, I was confident in my winging it back when I did all the maths, but now I'm like, I don't know.
Oh dear.
So I'm just not touching it because I don't want to touch it right now.
Wait for the confidence.
But I have some whips to talk about. What do you have?
I have 2 whips, and I wanted to talk about this real quick. I'll do this real quick. So this is a sweater that I am sort of started yesterday. I sort of started it. We had our Stitch and Bitch yesterday. We have a mini crafting club around here. And we have, at the end of the month, we always have a Stitch and Bitch. It's been virtual since freaking last year.
Practically since we started.
Practically since we started. It's so frustrating because a lot of people are just don't bother. When we were in person, we had a lot more oomph to it.
Yeah,
but the virtual is not that great. But we got to hang out with a good friend of ours, and I thought I stitched it on my ends, woven on my ends that's what I usually do because you're chatting. And then I thought, you know what, I'll start my gauge swatch. And then I can show these wonderful people what this sweater's going to look like. And I did, and I got enough of it done that I could see the color lay, and it's so beautiful. But it was all wrong. Like, I was just like, I started with 19 stitches, ended up with 24. Like, I was all over the place because I was talking and, like, trying to do stuff.
Yeah. And especially with a stitch pattern, sometimes.
Yeah, you're, like, trying to learn, like, what the thing is trying to tell you. I couldn't do that. But it's going to look beautiful. But I just thought I'd bring up, I'm doing the Kraynebo sweater by Lena Fettitova. And this is what it's going to look like. Boop, boop, boop. Try and get the glare.
There you go.
That is so pretty. Cool. And this is a really awesome pattern. It comes in 7 sizes. But the thing I learned that I thought was so fun and is that Kraynebo is one of 12 Ukrainian words for horizon. So that's what Kraynebo means.
That's cool.
Yeah, 12 words for horizon. That's neat. So thought I'd talk about that. The colors look beautiful together. I'm doing a navy and then a bright turquoisey blues and greens and yellows that you bought.
Is it called Finch Feather?
Finch Feather it's a Hobby Lobby brand. And it is beautiful, and I'm going to love it. So next time I will at minimum have a gauge swatch for you to see, hopefully, the starter sweater. So, do you want to show one of your whips?
Yeah, so let's see. I gotta get my book off of it. So this is a new start and a whip. I don't know. We don't really do a new start category, but whatever.
We're doing whatever.
We're doing whatever. So this is what I'm working on right now. It is a project that I started is almost immediately after the sweater situation. I'm gonna pull this up.
You need me to hold something?
No, I'm just putting that there for the strings. So this is also, if you follow me on Instagram, I am doing the Make 9 challenge, and this was one of the projects that is on my Make 9. I have had the green yarn.
Oh, this is so pretty.
Yes, it is super pretty. So I've had this green yarn for, I think, a year, maybe 2. It feels like a long time. I've had it in stash for a while, and I knew when I bought the yarn, this is going to be a Birds of the Feather shawl. It is the most prettiest. It's a super beautiful jade green. It's a mohair, fingering weight, lace weight, whatever. I think it's lace weight. Has stellina and sequins.
Hold that up. You can see those little bit of sequins and shine in there.
It is super pretty.
Love it.
So this is the Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. When I started to really get into knitting, my first shawl was the Find Your Fade, which I loved that shawl. And now, after that shawl, I think I saw the Birds of Feather, and I was like, yes, I need to do this. And so I started looking for mohair. And I'm a pink person, if you can't tell. So I don't know what the hell happened.
Because green is a complement to pink.
But I love this jade green.
Yeah,
It is
that is
so
a gorgeous green.
Beautiful. And it is very, very soft. And then this, I struggled to find complement colors for it. So this is like a silvery gray single ply yarn. And then I'm also I'm adding in a black here, charcoal, which I only have like 2 rows in it, so you can't see a whole lot of anything there, but
it's there, yeah.
It's there. What I'm doing is the garter stitch sections will be the silver white, the mohair sections will be mohair, the black will be, or the lace sections will be the black yarn.
Oh, I love that.
So this will end up being, it kind of looks like a wavy on the pattern. That's what this black is going to be. It's really pretty. It's really soft. I love the feel of that, like in my hands.
Oh, yeah.
And I know from knitting the Find Your Fade that like going from the tip of this little, which looks like panties by the way, this little project here, if I was ever going to knit myself some underwear, I know where to start. But I don't think I'd use mohair.
That'd be especially with little sequins in it. That'd be uncomfortable.
But anyway, I know from knitting the Find Your Fade pattern that it goes really quickly until it just doesn't, and then you're on it forever. I've knit the Fade shawl in 2 months at my fastest rate, so this will probably be something that I have going for a while.
Yeah.
It is not going to be a fast thing. So the yarn is, I'm going to tell you her Instagram name. So this is @Nimruz on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
I love her yarn. This particular base is discontinued, which sucks, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, glad you got it when you did.
I am glad. And then this is just single ply. This yarn is lichen and lace, and it's their single ply, and this is the color soot. And then I can get the other guy. This is Silver Fox, which is showing up a lot more oatmeal-y on camera.
Yeah. I think it's because of the yellow wall behind it, but
yeah.
It's much more gray in person.
Yeah, it's silvery gray. So anyway, I really struggled for what to pair with that green. I've bought a black yarn before, and I didn't like it.
That's just such a nice...
I like this one because it's not a saturated black. It's got that, it's charcoaly. It's got breaks of white in it, and I really like that.
Soot is a perfect name for that.
Yeah, so that's my whip, and I'm really looking forward to it, and it's one of my Make 9 projects, so I felt like I'm making progress, and it's easy because it's garter stitch.
All the good things.
All the good things.
So I have 2 whips.
All right, you go.
All right, so one is... Dun, dun, dun! My blanket!
Woohoo! We haven't seen this in a while.
I haven't seen this in a while. It was, so, let me see if I can find my little stitch markery thingy that I put in here. There it is. So I'm using my little snail.
Oh.
So there's where it was the last time you guys saw it. That little snail right there.
I love this.
This is the As We Go Stripey Blanket by Not Your Average Crochet, and I'm doing it as a temperature blanket. This is the second half of 2020 because while I planned, I did not thoughtfully plan. I was just like, go, temperature blanket, let's do it. And it turned out to be so long you could make 2 blankets out of it.
So now you and your sister are each
So now
I get,
I'll have one for myself and one for my sister.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be my end. And this is these are the hottest days of our year, right here in June. And then these are all the hot colors of the year. And this red line right there is the end of July.
Woohoo!
So that was the last day in July. So I'm into August now. So it is coming along. It's coming along quickly, but I need to order more yarn. And we did the calculations yesterday at our Stitch and Bitch. People asked me, how many skeins have you bought and how much have you spent? And I have bought, I think I said 63 skeins. There are 10 over there that have not gone into the blanket itself yet, but they probably will because they're cooler colors, so we're going to get back around to them. And I need to buy more. And I've spent $248 on these skeins, $5 a piece.
You're getting 2 whole blankets.
I'm getting 2 whole blankets out of this. Keep that in mind. I'm getting 2 whole blankets.
It's not for one.
Right. I'm doing 2 whole blankets out of this, and it is so one of our stitchy people is always talking about budget of her yarn stash, and that is a massive concern, especially if you're doing blankets. But the one thing, and if you think about it, you're like, okay, $250 for 2 blankets, that's, what's that, $125 for a blanket. Would you spend $125 on a blanket? Probably not. You probably go to Walmart, you pick up a blanket for $25. I have those blankets. They're shredding apart. Every time you wash them, they get a little worse. This blanket is 100% wool. It will be so warm. It will hold up. It will hold up to cats. It will hold up to animals. It will hold up to me. These will hold up for years. They're gonna be, they could almost be heirloom blankets at this point, you know?
Absolutely.
And I'm using cheap yarn, but cheap yarn is better than what you're getting at a standard retail store. So.
And, we sat under your finished one well, it wasn't finished at the time, but one of the times we showed it, we had it on our laps, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like overheating. It was summer, and I'm like, oh my god.
Now you're like, oh my god, it would be so warm. It would be so comfy and cozy.
I love this, and like your stitches and your yarn, it feels very nice. Mm-hmm. Like it. I'm used to my grandma crochets, and whenever she crochets, she crochets a lot of blankets, is what I meant to say. Her blankets are often like stiff. I think she crochets really tightly.
Yeah.
She also uses a much lower quality yarn. I'm pretty sure it's always Red Heart. Sometimes Karen Simply Soft, but this is squishy and totally and delightful and is now mine.
It's very soft and cozy and comfy, and each blanket is significantly long. It can fit a full-size bed. So if you're like cuddling up on the couch, I hate those blankets that are just too short. So if you pull it up to your neck, your feet show, and if you pull it down to your feet, you're like your whole upper body is cold. Yeah. Like this will be all the way up to your ears, all the way over your feet.
It fits a full-sized bed, right?
Yeah, full-size bed.
Yeah, that is going to be perfect.
Yeah,
to snuggle with. Yeah, because I have some throws in our bedroom. And I really only like our one throw that's super long. Like, I don't know if it's just an extra long throw or what.
Yeah.
But I cried when I laughed just now. So, dealing with some visual distress.
We have a blanket that is it's a woven blanket that I think my mom and dad bought. They went to Niagara Falls when they were first married. And it's the best blanket in the world. It's apart now. It is. You can't wash it anymore. If you were to wash it, it would just disintegrate. But it is the best blanket because it's nice and long. But the cats, now all the strings are hanging out because it was like woven, so all the strings are kind of hanging out the bottom, and the cats like get at them, and I'm like, oh, I should put you away somewhere, but you're so warm.
You're so warm and comfy.
Yeah. Blankets, man, they're important to us.
I love me a good blanket. All right, move on to my next flip. Speaking of, I love me a good blanket. Immediately after the sweater situation, guys, I needed something simple. I needed something to make me feel good.
Yes.
So I went through my yarn. First of all, I looked at my whips and I was like, I ain't doing it. So then I went through my yarn on my stash and I found my advent calendar that I had bought from Direful Yarns. And I'm like, I've always wanted to do something with this. And I've thought about garments and I've thought about shawls. And I finally said, I think it's time for a blanket. I never thought I would be a person who does a fingering weight blanket. But here we go. Here we go. So this is a corner to corner style blanket. There is no pattern. There's no pattern. I'm not writing one. I'm just doing a thing.
You're just having fun.
I'm just having fun with it. I cast on 3 stitches, and then what I do is at the beginning of every row, I knit the first stitch, and the second stitch, I knit the front and back, and that's my increase. That's all I'm doing. I'm pretty sure that's a dishcloth pattern. So I'm just making a
really big dishcloth.
Giant dishcloth. And then I really like, this is a stitch pattern that I learned from a shawl, which I can't talk about because that is a paid for pattern. So But it is some drop stitches. It just looks really pretty. And then I'm just striping the yarn as I go. And it is so fun and relaxing. And I don't know, like how far I'm going to go. I looked at some free corner to corner type blankets to get like a stitch count idea. And so maybe 400 stitches across is where I start to do decreases.
Yeah, start to go in.
But I don't know.
When you get to 400 stitches, lay half the blanket over you and say, is that wide enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to kind of like just feel it out. So the yarn is from the Advent calendar in 2019 from Direful. This color is called Wilhelm. And then this pink is called Briar Rose. Ooh. And these are, Wilhelm is a full skein, so 400 yards. Briar Rose is a mini skein, so I don't know what that is, like 20 grams I think is what they are. I don't know what that turns into yardage wise. 150
to 200, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all I have left of Briar Rose, and then I start a new color, and I'm going till it's gone. In pattern.
Now, do you have a specific striping pattern? Or are you just like, nope, I feel like brown, I feel like pink, I feel like...
No, it's alternating. I started off with the brown just to give it like a stable corner, and I'm hoping I can end that way too. Not with the brown, but with whatever other solid 400 yard skein I put in as the end. I do have the kit, or the Advent calendar I bought came with 2 full skeins. It came with one of Wilhelm and one of, it's like a whiter color. It's called Jacob. So the Brothers Grimm's. So what I'm doing is it's 1 row of pink, 1 row of brown, and then the stitch pattern, the fancy drop stitches, and then alternate brown, pink, brown, pink, brown, pink. So there's 3 pink rows before I do another brown and then the stitch pattern, and then 3 rows of pink and then stitch. So that's what I'm doing until I run out of pink. And at that point I will just join the next color, which I have some of the next colors with me. Yes. So I'll hold them up. Oh, okay. They're not pretty because I actually did knit. I started to knit a shawl with them, and I frogged the shawl.
They're not pretty.
They're not like pretty cutesy skeins or hanks or like the cake, like they're not caked up all pretty. They're kind of like bald, messily.
Oh, but I mean this is me in a skein of yarn.
That is the Foundling Bird. That one's really pretty.
So pretty.
This one is Snow White, and it just has some really stark...
I still don't get why this one is Snow White.
Or no, this is Little Red Riding Hood I meant. Not Snow White.
Red Riding. I still don't get why it's Little Red Riding. It's too pink. It should be redder.
It's very pink. And then this one is a favorite. This one is called the Blue Light.
Oh yeah, baby.
This one is Snow White.
I mean, maybe because of the Haunted Forest.
Really yeah, cool. that one's the foresty. Well, and the picture, there are like artistic-y, grim pictures that she based these off of, and it has the green in it.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is Dr. Know-All, which I don't know what fairy tale that's from, but I really, really love that. She has that color in full skeins.
Yeah, this is beautiful. The golds and the blues and the
I love it.
Rust colors.
I love it.
Yeah.
Her dye, and I've only ever bought a few skeins of hers. I have a mask in here. Yeah. I've bought a few skeins of hers over the years, and her dye patterns are just her speckling, the just beautiful, beautiful depth of colors, and like you can really see in this like how there's really dark speckles and really dark. It goes really dark and really light, and just all the shades in between. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, she is an expert.
Yes.
So what's your next color? Once the pink runs out, what are you going to go for?
I knew you were going to ask that. I think I'm doing Snow White next. So this one.
Oh yeah, that'll be a nice transition.
It has hints of pink in it.
Yeah. But you don't want to go to like a Little Red Riding Hood that's still pink.
No, I think I'm gonna do I might do, it might be Snow White and then this, which is Little Red.
I like that.
And then after Little Red, maybe Dr. Noel.
What kind of, yeah.
I really like, I mean, these two have to be side by side.
Yeah.
These two have to be together. And then I have this. So I don't know.
Yeah.
These are all the same skeins. I'm just like, here, let me try to hold them all up.
So pretty. So
it is
pretty.
pretty.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun project to just play around with.
Yeah, and I wanted something that was more than, a lot of people do the crochet granny square blanket, or they'll do
with a mini skein.
With a mini skein set. And a lot of people do that. And I don't know. I wanted garter stitch.
She wanted easy.
Garter stitch is like, I go back to it again and again for whenever I'm stressed or I just need a reset as I'm feeling after the sweater. Garter stitch is my reset. So I'm feeling it with my two projects. Maybe one day I'll get sick of it. So that's all of my whips. I have acquisitions next.
I have one more whip. Just a mini update. So this is my Inmost cardigan by 11 Handmade. And oh, there's a skein of yarn inside it. Hold that noodle. I've been all noodled up because it's getting quite large now.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Bye. There it is. Got it. Got it. All right, let me pull this out. We didn't think this through. Pull up the loop. All right. Boop, ba-doop, boop, boop. Boop. Look at that.
It is really looking awesome, Lauren. And it feels amazing. I want this. Just let me have this. Don't make a sweater. Just leave it as a blanket.
Look how pretty that color shows up too. Ooh.
Yeah. I love our lights. They really helped us.
So I'm about to start part 5 of 6. So this is basically 2/3 done. So I will, and I mean, I'm booking through almost a part a night. So I mean, I probably work on this 1 or 2 nights between our podcasts. So I will have, I think I'll have the body of this done soon, and we'll start putting it together as a cardigan itself.
How are you feeling on the yarn?
I am feeling really good, actually. I'm feeling really good about it.
At the beginning you were feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if I have enough.
I really wasn't, but I keep checking. Like, a skein does about a part and a half. And I keep checking that is staying consistent, and it is. So I will not have a ton left over, but I should have enough to finish.
Oh my god, I love this. This feels so like silky, buttery, soft.
I know. It's really nice yarn. I got this.
When you finish this, you're never taking it off.
No, probably not, because I live in slouchy stuff. So this is Ella Rae's Cozy Alpaca Chunky.
I love it.
And
I think I need a blanket out of that.
It's soft.
I bet it'll be really hot though with that alpaca.
It's gonna be warm. It's gonna be a warm thing.
Well, your thing isn't, because it's got this breathe.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, a blanket out of this would be
a solid blanket. Like
solid blanket would be probably too much. And I got this at the Hagerstown Yarn Shop, which I think is their name now. They've changed their name a couple times.
That feels amazing.
But
I need to go to that shop.
It is super nice, and it is this. I'm looking forward to having this done. So it's just a mini update. It's coming along. We're getting closer, and that is where I'm at with that.
It looks great. Looks great.
Now I gotta figure out how to get it all back in the bag.
I don't know.
All right, what did you get? Some
acquisitions. Okay. So, first, disclaimer, I did not buy all these. I am still getting late Christmas gifts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I will start with what I did buy, though. So I've been working on planning for my Instagram Make 9 challenge, which is apparently all I talk about these days. So I have one sweater on there that is an easier sweater that I've been kind of looking at for a while. It's called Missoni Accomplished. It is by Espace Tricot. It is a free pattern. I believe they are a French-Canadian company. I've of course heard about them on the Grocery Girls. They talk about Espace Tricot all the time, which is why I'm pretty confident that they're Canadian based, and it sounds French, so. I bought this yarn though for the sweater, guys. Big surprise, it's pink.
But still, like, that's so pretty.
Lichen and Lace Yarn is a company that I have followed for a very long time, and I never bought their yarn because they are a Canadian-based company that is 100% Canadian wool, but I couldn't, I didn't know, like, what I was doing as far as shopping. I know this sounds really bad, but I was just really worried about, you know, shipping and everything with COVID going on.
There's hay in this.
Yes, that is a part of the type of yarn. It is rustic wool yarn.
Okay, do you want your hays to stay in it?
Yeah, I'll pick them out as I knit it. It happens. I have the first sweater that I knit had hay in it.
Yep.
Yeah, or like bits of straw and grass and stuff. It's just, I don't know, you just pull it out.
I know. I was gonna pull it out for you.
It's just whatever. But this is called the Rose, and I have it to go with. This is not a new purchase, but I bought this in 2020. So this is some more rustic Jacob wool, and it is Ross Farms fibers. And so my sweater will be, the base color will be pink. And then
there's the sheepy it came from.
His name is Sarge. He's pretty cool sheepins. So those two will go together.
Ooh, so pretty.
Pretty excited about that. I don't know when I'm starting this project, but I now have the yarn for it.
You now have the yarn for it. That's half the battle.
Etsy gift card is how I got this, which was awesome. They are on Etsy, but they also have their own shop. Speak, Devynn.
Words.
So then I have two other acquisitions. These ones were Christmas gifts.
Hold this for you.
Yeah. This is from my boyfriend's sister.
Ooh, that is so pretty.
I love this. So this is a sock set. Cool thing is it's DK weight, which I love. I don't collect DK yarn. I'm not knitting socks with it, but I will be knitting
this up a little closer.
Something awesome with that. Yeah, I don't even know. I saw that on her website, and I'm like, I need it.
Gorgeous. Those bright, hot fuchsias.
Yeah.
Love them.
Love it. And then this one, oh, I should say, this one back here is a Holiday Peppermint.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure if she still has it on her website, but really any of her colors are worth getting. She does an awesome dye job.
These are gorgeous. And this one is?
Solar Winged. Ooh. And they're both from Rosehill Yarns, which I am pretty sure is another Canadian company. Apparently, I'm really feeling the Canadian yarns.
In the Canada's.
One more acquisition. This is also a Christmas gift that arrived. Jason signed me up for a monthly yarn club, and this is from the company Knit Circus.
Ooh. And that's making that. It's making that pink really pop. But
it's really blowing out. It's a little bit more muted.
Yeah, it's not quite as neon as that pink.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
But that is really cute.
Yeah.
Knit Circus.
So Knit Circus is, they do a lot of gradients, but the club will send you, it's different every time. So I have no idea what to expect. That's kind of exciting because I will get to sample a lot of their yarns, and I know for a fact that I will enjoy the gradient cake. This color is called Merry Unbirthday, and this is a full skein. it looks tiny. Jason got this and he's like, I really hope I got you like not just a mini skein.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's really tiny because I've had full skein gradient cakes and they are not this little.
Yeah.
But this is, it says it's 400 yards, so.
Is it just like fine weight?
It is like... fingering weight, but I've had fingering weight 400 yard gradient cakes and they're usually still bigger than this.
Yes, that's probably.
It's just the way they wound it is so tiny. But it is really cute. I look forward to doing something with this. No idea what yet, but it is really cute.
Very pretty.
That's everything. That's my bag of stuffs.
I mean, lots of fun stuff. Lots of stuff coming up.
I finally brought
this. You finally brought the thing. You were going to have to do this so we can see what it looks like.
Yes, I am doing it. It's just not done yet. So this is not a new acquisition, but we've talked about in the last couple of episodes the
New for me.
The New to You make-along that is hosted by Cocktail Hour at the Coop, along with many, many, many other makers. I bought this nano felting kit, and it's to make these fancy silk scarves. So you guys can kind of see from the picture.
Yeah, that is very neat.
Fancy weirdo silk scarf thingy. I don't see myself wearing this, but I will probably do it up. And I have a coffee table, so it could lay on my coffee table, or I could hang it on my wall as like a banner.
Yeah,
it'll look really cool.
Fun thing. That looks really neat.
So
top of a bookcase or something really
neat. I'm
gonna
pull out parts. I'll set. Do you want to hold that? It's gonna feel weird. So with the kit, you get, this is roving. This one here is roving. First you get, this is what you're working with. This is a hand-dyed, silky chiffon type scarf thingy. Yeah. Majigger. And I've read the directions a while ago, so I don't remember, but look at this color.
So pretty.
It is so pretty.
Blue.
So you get this thingy wet, and you put this on it. And you put this on in the middle. Oh, and you don't want to go too heavy, because if you go too heavy, it won't felt right, and it'll make the whole thing kind of pucker in too far. So you want to make sure it's even all throughout. And then you decorate with, so this is silk, which is why it's like sticking to us. It's like silk cocoon stuff, fiber that is just dyed in coordinating colors.
So pretty. And
then this is mohair locks. And you just scatter this throughout. And there's one more thing somewhere in here.
Yeah, there's the glittery stuff.
It's called Glitz. I'm not going to take it out of the baggie, but hopefully you guys can see. That is got some glittery fiber. It's super fun.
Step it back in the baggie a little bit. It's like coming out.
It's fine. It's just in there. So I will be working on this kit for the Make 9, or not Make 9, help me!
New to You.
New to You make-along. I'm doing too many things, guys. So I will be working on that. Got my pool noodle. I found it the other day, and now I gotta go get some bubble wrap. Because you use bubble wrap to, you get it wet, and you put the stuff in there, and then you wrap it around the pool noodle, and in some bubble wrap, and then you roll it out.
I gotta see this. You have to do it. So
I'm gonna record it, but we're probably not putting it on our YouTube channel. I'll show you the recording. I don't know. We'll decide from there if we can do like a time lapse. Cause I'm probably gonna look like a big doofus trying to figure out how to roll this thing. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. But that is something that I will be working on. I plan on getting to it in the next 2 weeks. I have until Valentine's Day, but I'm trying not to wait until the day of to do it.
Very nice.
But yeah.
I should have talked about this on our cross stitch, but I started my sewing class for the New to You.
Oh, you did.
And I had to learn all the stuff to start sewing. But one of the end projects for this class is a pillow, and I'm going to incorporate one of my cross stitches in the pillow.
That's cool.
So that'll be fun.
That's really
cool. We'll see how confident I am by the time I start the pillow itself. All right. I think that's everything.
That's everything I have.
All right, guys. It was super nice hanging out with you. If you're new here, please hit subscribe and all that. Hang out with us. Post comments down in the thing. Tell us about what projects you're working on, or if you've ever had a big project that didn't work out, what you decided to do about it. And we'll see you all again in 2 weeks.
All right, guys. Bye.